It's actually raining, so I have to put it up. This is just a quick video just to explain briefly whatever they shelter I can kind of grab around here. I think this is the best I can do. This is just a quick video just to say, just to show in fact what the what actually the death threat was about. It was about throwing somebody from a third floor window. So I'll show you the building. Here's the building. This is me at ground level. I'm not on my tiptoes. This is me at ground level. So we have the first floor. We then have the second floor, which is actually barman's flat. My perpetrator in this case. And up the top there, those are my windows. That's my windows up there. So I'll zoom back out. Okay, here we are at ground level. So this is ground level. This is where, as you can see, I'm just here on the street, just at ground level. We'll flip the camera. Still at ground level. You can also see the state of disrepair on the building. If you zoom in here, the building's falling apart, and the reason it's falling apart is because it was built in 1893, so it was built in the 1800s. That's why the damp is coming through. So there's no luxury living here. This is not a place you want to come if you want to stay healthy. Avoid toxic black mold. As you can see there, it's coming in through my window. That's my window at the top. I'll show you my windows. Those are my windows. Those are my windows. Those are my windows on the top. These ones here, these last four, these are not mine. These are my neighbours who has chosen to get involved. But those two are my windows, those two and those are the corner ones. So we'll zoom back out. And as you can see, if you were thrown out the windows of the first floor, you're likely to graze your knee or twist your ankle. You might even break your ankle, If you're thrown from the second floor, then you're very likely to snap something more, something much worse, like your spine or your neck. If you're thrown from up there where I am, the third floor, and bear in mind these windows, as I've shown on my previous video, they open entirely. They don't just open slightly. They don't just open like that one. They don't open like that. That's false. They open all the way out, and I will do another video just after this just to show that, just because my long video is very, very long. If you look over here, you'll see the state of disrepair. That's why the building's falling apart. It's absolutely falling apart, and as you can see the black mold up here, you can see it seeping in through where my finger is inside, and then up there we've got it underneath the Grosvenor House sign slipping in through there. So it's a total mess. It's a sham of a building. Nice cameras, they've laid nice marble, they've laid nice marble, they've laid nice flooring and things like that. They've put up expensive cameras just about everywhere, but the problem is it's structural damage. The building was built in 1893, so and it was boarded up. It was actually boarded up for many, many years. If you Google Grosvenor House and you click on images, the first thing you'll see is the fact that it was boarded up. It used to be a pub many years ago, and a lot of people around here remember it as a pub. An Indian guy bought it. Barman, he's the guy that threatened to throw me out the third floor window to death. Threatened to kill me twice. And that's not the first time he's been abusive. And this is also not the first death threat that I've been upset about. I've had 3 death threats. There's been 3 in total that South Wales police have chosen to ignore. And that's why this one's really getting to me. Because it's the 3rd one. It's like, how many death threats do I have to receive until I'm actually killed? And then that's it, I'm killed. It's over, you know. I'm complaining because I don't want that. I believe my life's precious, just the same as other people's lives, like Lynette White, you know, many years ago. That's just one example. You know, millions of people die all across the UK every day. So death threats should not be tolerated. Death threats should be punished. There should be an example set. There should be a deterrent to threatening death. Because what's the next step up from death? Killing the person. It's either attempted murder or murder. And that's why that other PC who's with PC Anna Randall is ridiculous in saying, oh, well, did he act on it? Acting on it is attempted murder. Or murder. You know, it's one of the two. So we'll flip back round. I hope it's the end of school, so there's a lot of school people around. I'm going to have to avoid all these people because I don't want them being in my film, my camera. So here we have the 1st floor, here we have the 2nd floor. Whoop, all the way up there is the 3rd floor. If you look over across the road, you'll see that the houses are a lot smaller. So that the 2nd floor is not as high up. It's kind of, if you fell from the 2nd floor there, I don't actually think you'd kill yourself. You know what I mean? You probably, it's 50-50, isn't it? But then with this building, so there we go, there's one. With this building, it's totally different ball game. Up here you have my windows. So yeah, if Barman had thrown me from any of the 8 windows, he had a choice of 8. And these windows, they don't open, as I keep repeating, I'm sorry if I keep going over it, they don't just open slightly, they open fully. So you could throw someone out with ease, with absolute ease. So this video is just simply to document the fact that it was threats to kill. Barman's very familiar with this building. These are his cars. You know, out here, I don't know, I think that might be his car. I know he's got 1 or 2 on lease. He leases them. He's a foreigner in this country. Another ridiculous thing that PC Tony said was that, you know, Mr. Barman Zafari, he had no previous. Well, Wayne Couzens, who killed Sarah Everard, had no previous. There's lots of people that commit crimes like murder or attempted murder or rape that have had no previous. You know, so the fact that someone's had no previous, that doesn't come into it. What comes into it is, can it be proven in court? That's all that comes into it, is can it be proven in court? Yes, it can. We've got the proof. You cannot just call someone and say, oh, you're not allowed to say death threats, because you're literally letting them off with a crime, and he's been let off with a crime. So that's why I'm upset about it. So again, I'll just once I'll end it now, and I'll just show you quickly one last time what it looks like. 1st floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and there's 8 windows you can choose from. Go all the way around here. These are my windows also. Those 2 there, they're my windows. These are my windows. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then these ones here, each of the corner ones, they open fully. So 8 windows in total. 8 windows in total that he could have thrown me from. And if you look, whoop, it's a long way down. Bam. You would definitely die. Or at least you'd be in a wheelchair, broke with your spinal column broken, and you would be paralyzed from the neck down. So I'll end the video there. That was just me coming out in the rain, just to kind of prove my point. And it was a death threat, and he's guilty of that, and he knows he's guilty of that. Police know he's guilty of that. Police are literally defending the guy. So I just don't understand why. I can take my hood off now. I'm under shelter. I don't understand why. Why are you defending him? Because if you listen to the call by PC Tony, which is the video previous to this one, you'll see totally defending the guy, totally defending him. And why? And my other question is, my final question: why was it passed to PC Tony? Why did PC Anna Randall, who was all excited, amped, she was enthusiastic about it. She was like, right, we don't want to come over there and alert him and make him knowledgeable of the fact that we're there so that he can delete evidence and leave. That she said she's mindful of that. That's already been uploaded to my YouTube channel. Why? This has nothing to do with this death threat. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with that. It's simply to do with the fact that right and wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? It's simply to do with the fact of right and wrong. It's simply to do with the fact of standing up against corruption, standing up against police defending criminals, standing up against just basically what's right and wrong. You know, if I had have done it, I would have woken up in HMP Cardiff. Yeah, but because he knows police are corrupt, he's allowed to get away with crimes. So what other crimes is he allowed to get away with? What else is he allowed to get away with? And it's shocking. You know, you can say that, oh well, police are professional people, they don't do things like this. You know, we had a serving Bridgend police officer from South Wales. Bridgend, it's in South Wales, just down the road from here. 2 years ago, he raped a baby. And the person he raped the baby with was a person who was working for the Welsh Government. He was working for the Welsh Government. He was a serving Welsh Government barrister, which is the opposite side to the police. The police, because prosecutors are on the side of the police, but this was a barrister. So on the other side of police, the people defending criminals. And yet, so this officer was serving at the time. He was arresting people during the daytime, but at night time he was raping babies. How can you do that? How can you just like one? I don't even have any words for the baby raping thing. I don't even have any words. I'm not even going to try and come up with a theory on why someone would do that, because there isn't one. How can you lock somebody up for burglary or for rape, even rape, or for murder, when at night time you're raping not women or young girls, but babies, toddlers? If you don't believe me, go on Google serving Bridgend police officer rapes baby. And you'll see John Guest, the barrister, and I can't remember the PC's name, the police constable's name. So these are not good people; they're just people. And do you know what they want? They want promotions. They want pay rises. That's what they want. They want to take their wives on the luxury holidays. They don't get that by doing little weed busts, by busting weed dealers on the street corners. That's not what gets pay rises and promotions. It's the people that catch Sarah Everard's killer, who I congratulate. Well done, good job. You know, you did a great job. You deserve your promotion, your pay rise. she was obviously, she was someone who had, her life was precious. Her life meant something. It wasn't disposable like PC Wayne Cousins thought it was. It was not a disposable life. It was a beautiful, amazing life, and I consider my life not quite the same as hers. I consider mine a little bit lower. I don't really see my life as being worth as much as hers, but it's still a life, and it still means a lot to me, and I still want to live it. If this is the first death threat, okay, fine. If it was the second death threat that they'd ignored, I'm angry, but still, this is now the third death threat that they've ignored. And I will, after this video, I'm going to put up the first two death threats. The first two death threats, including the fact that I've been waiting now. I stopped counting at 210 days. There was day 210, I stopped counting. I stopped counting the fact that they hadn't given me a response. If they'd given me a response, I could then appeal to the IOPC, and then the IOPC would have said, well, you have to charge this person, because this person was a female who had threatened me with death. That her brother was going to come and kill me. But she got off with that. Another person getting off with death threats. When I know people, personally know people who know people who have been to prison, who have committed offences, the offence, of threats to kill. And this person I know of got 12 months, and he had to do 6 in prison. He had to do 6 outside of prison. He actually ended up going back to prison for a breach of something. But he went back, and he ended up doing, I think it was like 11 months out of the 12. So the police protect who they want to protect, and they let off who they want to let off. And in this case, they've let Barman off. They've allowed him to commit crimes and that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for fairness. I'm fighting for justice. I'm fighting I'm against corruption. And I think I've got like 20 subscribers, 23, 24. I think it's 24. I'm grateful to every single one of you. Some of you will be police. I'm very, very aware of that. But for the ones that aren't police, monitoring, I'm very grateful. So thank you. And I just want fairness. And then the good news will be when he gets charged with the crime that he is guilty of, which is throwing me from the 3rd floor window down onto the concrete below, or onto the banister. The banister, sorry. I actually said barrister because I was thinking of that paedophile, John Guest. So here we go. There's 1, 2, 3. Certain death. Certain death. You fall out of there, that's certain death. So yes, I've come out in the rain just to show you that, and I'll end it there. Thank you for any support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. People in the comments seem to agree with me. People in the comments seem to be against police corruption. The police are not about goodness and doing good. That's not what they're about. They're about pay rises, promotions. That's what they're about. They're about getting the promotion so they can take their wife on an excellent holiday. And they don't get that doing these basic little jobs. They get that by catching the serious criminals. You know what I mean? And they don't classify Barman as a serious criminal. They don't class him as a serious criminal. But the law should apply to everybody. It shouldn't just apply to some. It shouldn't be one rule for one and another rule for another. It should be one rule for everybody. Police, not police. Barmans, not barmans. Foreigners, not foreigners. Me, this guy, him, the guy in the van there, the guy in the van that just drove past, that car in the car. We should all be held to the same level, of accountability, of the same standard. but we're not. We're not. So that's that's what this channel's about. It's not about a death threat. Do you know what I mean? It's not about anything. You know, I know it must seem pretty petty to some people, but to me, it's not about that. That's not what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting against corruption. I'm fighting against people that think they could just get away with threatening to throw people. Well, they have got away with threatening to throw people out of a window. And it's not just any window, a third floor window. The reason he said third floor, the reason he said that was because he knew it was death. He also called. He called me because he thought he was being smart. He didn't want to say it in a message, because if he said it in a message, that's evidence, and he knew that. So he thought, oh, I'll be clever and I'll call him. And I'll tell him over the phone, which can't be traced, can't be, no evidence. Well,